Ladies and gentlemen, cryptillions and crypto crackheads, Bitcoin for the second time, which should be a death sentence in terms of staying in an ascending channel. This first arrow is pointing to the bottom of a 14-month-long trading channel. And historically, over the thousands of trading channels I've seen across the 10-second up to the weekly time frame, but a large majority on very low time frames that I've seen, they only play out a certain number of ways. And one way I've never once, ever, with zero exceptions, and I'm going to so eat my words if this is the first exception, and I know that. I will eat my words, but it's so statistically probable that I should be safe saying this. All right? But again, you'll have fun making comments, free YouTube, if I'm wrong. And go ahead. But just like somebody, after we had a move down from 43 to 40, I was talking about 48K around that point, and he goes, look, you're wrong. Right after this move down from 44, look, that didn't happen. All right, but anyway, so a lot of times people leave comments on my channel thinking that, and then it actually ends up happening anyway because you have to format your brain to larger time frames at times. But this is a 14-month-long channel. The one way price does not move in channels is when you fall out, especially for 80 days, a long period of time, out of a trading channel. The second time you fall out, you do not make local higher highs. You will stay out of that channel. The channel is out of play. It doesn't do anything. You can come up and get a failure pattern, which is a way to get rejected by the bottom of the line, and that could bring you all the way up to 46K. But what I'm stating right now, very bold statement for new viewers. If we get any form of rally before April, I don't think price has permission. No, even let's say before May 1st. I'll extend it a whole month. Before May 1st, Bitcoin price should not make new local higher highs above 48K, and it's highly unlikely it sees above 46K. Just after that, if we dip down really hard in February, just get it all out of the way, hit the monthly 10 at about 33K and V-shape out, by middle of May, Bitcoin could be, essentially beginning an early bull run. I don't think that's possible, but I want you to know that's the most bullish thing. If you gotta get down to get up. If we go down super hard in February, get it all out of the way, bounce off that monthly 10, that would be probably the most bullish thing I could see as fast as I could see it. The fastest, most bullish / fast thing I could imagine. But in the next little bit, I don't think in February, March, or April that Bitcoin even has permission to go much over 46K. Bold statement, but I've seen thousands of these channels, and that's the second dip out. And if you want to see what this looks like, I should have cleaned up the chart for a free YouTube video. Shame on me. But we'll dive into this a little bit more. I'll show you the anatomy of this channel, and then I'll give you, and then we'll zoom in right on where it fell out, and I'll give you the levels that you need on your chart to play some crypto. So get ready to go get some Bitcoin. Let's get it. Here we go. I'm on the daily chart. We can see that this channel began right at the $15,500 lows back in November of 2022. Pump up to 25K, went down to test the bottom of the channel, which created the bottom of the channel. And then the next dip down at 25K hit the bottom of the channel perfectly. After having hit perfectly the top, which formed the top of the channel, fell out the first time for 80 days, zoomed back in. There are only 3 ways to interact with a channel after you fall out for a significant period of time. A V-shape doesn't count. That creates other opportunities that are more bullish. But if you stay out relative to the time frame you're on, a relatively long time, which includes sideways or just down, there are only 3 ways you can react within the channel. Either you come up to it and get rejected by it, then fall down. You go up to the 1/4 line, so 0 line, quarter line, half line, 3/4 full. You go up to the 1/4 line, get rejected, and then you're done. Or you go up to the point of control, either the bottom or the top of the point of control, and then you fall out. There are only 3 ways that I've ever seen it. And the 4th way technically is it doesn't even get a rejection. It doesn't go up. And again, I've seen this play out. Price moves the same on, if you look at price on the 5-second and you copy some of the candles and then you expand them on the weekly, you can find a spot where it looks identical. I promise. Price moves the same on all time frames, which is why even though I'm on the daily, this is a year-long channel, it should behave the same way as I've seen all the other channels when I trade really low time frames like the 1 minute, and those long channels only last like 2 hours. I'm trading in a channel for about 2 hours, for example, and then I can change my trading decisions after it falls out because I already know I already know there are only 4 things that can happen. It doesn't retest, it retests the bottom, the quarter line, or the half line. Same thing every time. And here is where you should start throwing in lines on your chart. There is the pump from Bitcoin's pump at the very beginning of the bull run from essentially 12K up to 20K, and then a pullback at 20K, and then 20K went straight up just past 40K. That is this right here. This is the end, the exact wick high, about 42,320, 42,325, or you could be cute, put 42,333. Whatever the case is. The last cute number I did, 44,444, it got the top exactly of that move. Like exactly to the dollar, I believe. So I'm going to do another cute number. And again, I was just trying to be cute. It was coincidental that it actually landed on it. So this is an exact target. I mean, it could be, but just so you can remember, 42,333. I wish it were 43,333, but that number right here, it could create, okay, it could become the obstacle that confirms a lower high before lower price action, or before it attempts to put in a higher low. That could happen as well, but I don't think that's going to happen. And if price happens, let me go into lower time frame so we can see how price is moving. If price decides to go above there, then you have resistance immediately above it, which is the bottom of the channel, which does make sense, and that's closer to 44. And this is over the course of the late January through February. That's when this pretty much has to happen. If we're going to get a bounce from here, if we get a bounce from lower down, then honestly, these 2 targets would probably be the second and third targets up. But as of now, they're the first and second targets up. Does that make sense? Okay. So right now, you have clear resistance at 42,333, and this exact line got the pump from the Wyckoff lowest low in July of 2021. It did a dip and rip with no higher lows, like it just went straight up from about 29K. It went straight up to this line as well. So the wick high of the first push of the bull run of 2021, plus the reaction off of the Wyckoff lows, that's the wick high. 42,333. If it gets above there, then it's likely going to retest the bottom of the point of control. So this is thinking of lower highs, since statistically I've never seen anything better happen. And then if it gets above there, it does a failure pattern, then it should tag. Did I get rid of? It should tag these same 2 lines, similar to how it tagged it earlier, but in a more bearish fashion. This is the CME yearly spot price. This is the spot price, spot Bitcoin yearly candle high from 2021. And those levels, you don't have to have both of them, but they're right at 46K. So the idea for a lower high is based off of, I've seen 0 exceptions on how price interacts with channels. Therefore, I'm very, very, relative to how confident I usually am doing TA, which my TA ends up, being, I don't know, I think it's pretty solid most of the time. And I go over all the times that I've been wrong, right? I've even have timestamps on, I think, on the last YouTube live that we did. But for free YouTube, and if you want that information for YouTube, the join button below leads you to information about the YouTube community, which I'm actually on a live stream. This is the very beginning. I'm doing a Bitcoin recap without giving the juicy information, which I'm going to do the juicy information right after I get off of here. The join button below shows you about that, and then the information on the Discord community, off of which I just got off a VIP call. You want to check that out. A live VIP call where we talk on and share screen and all that good stuff. That's the Discord community. Description has the links to that. All right. So my whole basis of being confident, so putting all this together, I am confident in a lower high for reasons I just stated and reiterated. Boom. Channel can't interact. It doesn't have options to go any higher. Now I have 3 targets and all the reasons why. The lowest one might get it because this has 2 macro, like very sharp highs, like they're wicks up. 42,333. The next one also makes perfect sense. The bottom of the 14-month-long channel being confirmed as resistance because it didn't really do it over here very well. And that's at about 44.2. If it does it real fast, though, it'd be more closer to 43. So between 43 to 44 is the next lower high target. And then the highest high target has to do with 2021's yearly candle closures and 2022's opening before it went down are around the 46K. So 42.3, 43 to 44, and 46 is as high as I think Bitcoin has permission to go this entire end of winter, spring for the Northern Hemisphere. And now I'm going to end this public video, and I'm now going to let my YouTube community have my thoughts on if I were an altcoin holder, if I still held altcoins, what would I be doing right now? And I'll let you know. Right now is a very important time for altcoin holders. You need to be paying attention to this. And I'm not going to give, you could probably connect the dots on why, but I'm getting ready to go in and make that very clear, what I would be thinking to the private YouTube community. So you just got Timified worldwide. Peace out. And if you're on the live call, stay around.